Now, the blockchain tech is developing together with the cryptocurrencies and vice versa, I guess. I mean, they're driving each other. And now, keep in mind that the blockchain is really an independent, safe, and secure way to store information about transaction, deals, agreements, contracts. The implementation of the blockchain allows transferring private, corporate, and other types of data. Well, all over the internet, right? And I mean, blockchain has started, right, as being a, well, certain feature, right, very peculiar one, right, of the tech world. And it took quite a bit of time to actually see how to push it into the day-to-day lives, into day-to-day routine for the businesses and for people. And I mean, right now, we're seeing how corporations are starting to embrace what the blockchain really is. And I mean, we know of great examples where Nestle, IBM, Walmart are now implementing blockchain into their operations, right? Now the big question is that will blockchain ever move into, well, the consumer sector, right? And be useful for ordinary people. And I mean, here, you know, I just want to talk you through an example, which I really, really like, of how things might really change, right, with the blockchain story within a decade, and how it's going to come into the consumer stuff. Now, I'm sure you all know how the automotive market works, right? And I mean, let's take imaginary Alice and Bob, right? And Alice wants to buy a car from Bob for, I don't know, $30,000, right? So I mean, right now, I mean, in order to do that on the secondary market, they really need an intermediary, a trusted intermediary, to clear that transaction, right? To sign it off. Now, imagine, I mean, let's, you know, move into an imaginary field where, imaginary world, I guess, where blockchain is all over, and it's the base for the car sales and purchases. So when Alice wants to buy a car from Bob, cleared through blockchain, we don't need that trusted intermediary anymore, right? All the nodes are going to clear the transaction and confirm it, right? And then Bob's account is going to be credited $30,000, and Alice is going to get a special cyber key to open and start that car. Now, what that does, really, for the global market, right? And what that does, really, is we're going to see much less car thefts around the world. Why? Well, because whoever gets to that car has to, well, present the car with that specific cyber key. And now, if all of the cars are going to be connected to the World Wide Web, right, and we're going to see more broadband happening, you know, and higher bandwidths, then the car can check with the global blockchain, right, who's the real owner of that car. And if that real owner is not there, right, or the people authorized to drive it by that owner, then it's just not going to start. Right? And I mean, this is going to change things massively. I mean, another benefit, obviously, is that the transaction costs for, well, car sales in this example, and general transaction costs for anything around the world, are going to go down significantly. Anything that reduces costs is obviously something people want to develop and want to pursue. So crypto, I mean, first of all, blockchain, obviously, and then, you know, crypto stories behind it, they're gonna grow and grow and grow. There is no way, you know, this market can just go bust. It might seem that the market for cryptocurrencies right now is really oversaturated. And I mean, there are so many cryptocurrencies out there. People, you know, new ones are springing up really pretty much every day, right? And while the blockchain tech is really used widely, I mean, in all possible fields. Like I said just a minute ago, I mean, it's still a long way off using that tech, fully and completely in our everyday lives. But nonetheless, I mean, by the end of 2006, I'm just looking at the numbers here, right? The cryptocurrency market has been developing, exponentially with very favorable forecast. By the end of 2017, the market has shown the gain of, 30 to 100%, right? The general global cap. I mean, how many assets and how many businesses do you know, how many industries do you know that can achieve something like that and keep it up for quite some time? It's way higher than what was predicted by any analytic agencies all around the world. I mean, it really shows how potentially robust that market and that tech is. Now in 2016, really, I mean, the majority of officials, and official bodies around the world, really abstained from predicting what the market is going to be and how it's going to develop. By 2017, mid-2017, end of 2017, most of them had to say something, had to voice their forecasts, had to voice their concerns, and had to take some sort of a position, and show some sort of approach to this. Again, like I said in the beginning of this talk, right? I mean, we understand and expect that some countries will fully legalize crypto, while others may either completely ban it, or temporarily ban it, or put out some kind of a very difficult legislative body of things, right? Nonetheless, I mean, we hope, and you hope, I guess, that in general, the global regulatory framework is going to move towards making things easier, more straightforward, both for the investors and for the developers and for everyone. And as soon as that happens, really, and as soon as we see more and more companies, businesses embracing the blockchain tech and embracing the crypto, crypto as a currency will legalize on a day-to-day level. I mean, we're going to see salaries being paid in crypto, right? We're going to see shopping done in crypto for all sorts of things. We're going to see crypto terminals all around, on next every corner. Again, we need to wait a bit, right? But the market's definitely expanding and definitely